in the upper left in the blue. He's for Team Liquid. Taking down Max Bax 2-0 to get here. It's Clem. Down to the bottom right in the red on a run of probably the most insane PvT results, 24-hour PvT results we've seen in a long time. It's Creator. And I know I've been talking about it before this series. It bears mentioning just how insane this 24 hours of Creator has been. So he takes down Firefly to start EPT career, which is like the first major name he takes down in EPT career, which is a solid result. Firefly is really good. He is a very solid Protoss player. And he's got a really good PvP as well. He took down Jaishi to go 3-0 in ESL Masters Asia. He's maybe not at a classic level or something, but still solid. I want to say Firefly actually took a game off Creator. But then he goes and he runs into Gumiho. Gumhio, of course, took down Classic in the GSL semifinals. He's a recent GSL finalist. He's on incredible form. Creator beats him 2-1. He runs into ByuN in the next round. ByuN online, his TVP is incredible, and it's so hard to deal with. It's just aggressive as this pro blocking, but no, will go down. Creator oversteps himself, maybe a little bit too much. But he goes, runs into ByuN. And I want to say he 2-1s ByuN as well. Might have been a 2-0, I forget. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, if you're taking down Gumhio, you take down ByuN. That's already incredibly hard. Who's next? Who's sitting in the finals? The final boss of EPT, ESL Open Cup Korea number 200. Who's waiting there, waiting to fight him? Just happens to be the best TVP player in the world. Just happens to be here. And he goes, and I want to say it was a 3-0. It's like 3-1, something like that. Like, he wins that series pretty handily as well. And now he's sitting here. Takes down Gumiho again 2-1. So he's killed Gumhio twice, ByuN once, Cure once, and if he gets Max Packs, that's going to be every top. Hero Marine has really good TVP too, but you're not going to see him all that often in the games, in the series, in the tournaments Creator plays in. Outside of Maru, that's pretty much every Terran player a Protoss player should be afraid of, and he beats every single one of them in the span of 24 hours. That's an incredible murderer's row. Oh, and by the way, as we talk about this, you want to see if we talk about actually our setups? Well, between Clem and Creator, this is one of those where Clem is 17-3. This is one of those where Clem has been favored overall. And in general, his TVP is just really, really good. We can see he's like 83, or it was like an 80% form win rate. Even still, the form Creator's in right now, Aligulax says one thing, and I think that's very fair. Creator has a very real opportunity to win this series, especially as it is currently. It's like 4 a.m. in Europe. And yeah, pro gamer hours, all that. It's like 10 a.m. for Creator. He woke up at early for a pro gamer. He probably woke up at like 6 a.m. or something, 7 a.m. But it's like 10 o'clock in Korea. He's fine. He's okay. And for now, the Adepts are going to find their way to the other side, and we will see that first dead Reaper. Meanwhile, Hellions are going to try to dive in, looking for a scout, and they get it because they see the Phoenix in the air, and that's something. But it's interesting that I know I made the point of this in recent ESL cast, but it was looking for like the first 2 weeks of this patch that Stargate openers were dead. You could not get away with them. You're seeing Clem in particular reactively go Cyclone builds and just kind of kill his opponent. Oracles and Phoenix do not withstand a couple reactored Cyclones. Just really, really rough. But it seems like Protoss players have started to realize how this works a little bit more, have started to deal with it a little bit more, and now I'm actually seeing a lot of Stargate play. It's turning out like it's actually come back into the meta fairly strongly, which is pretty cool to see that happening. So, excuse me, Immortal on the way, RoboBay getting added in. And Creator's getting everything he wants. The one thing that the thing I guess you're lacking, and it's just kind of you can pick A or B, and in this case you've chosen B, not A, is that you're not going to have Twilight for a while. When you go for this build, you're not going to have Blink, you're not going to have Charge, nothing like that. Not for a little bit, because again, you're committing all your gas to your Robo play. You're committing all your gas to your Stargate play. It means that you have this really powerful defensive army. It means that you can handle drops fairly nicely. Maybe get some harass if you want. But you don't have that mobility. Not quite as much. You can't chase an army as easily as you would like. So we're going to have to see maybe how Clem takes advantage of that. And for now, I mean, he's bunkering up. The hatches are absolutely battened down. He's sitting on, what's that, 3 missile turrets? Yeah, 1 outside of his production, 1 in his main base, 1 in his natural. He's got all the missile turrets ready. Because he knows that like, Phoenix can be obnoxious, but actually Creator has gone, and he's cut at 3. He's only got 3 Phoenix on the map right now, going into that Colossus deck, having that heavy ground army. And if Clem is playing this against, if this is 5 Phoenix, 6 Phoenix, 7 Phoenix, if he's playing against something like that, well, he's going to find his army composition not quite to be where it wants to be. So now if Marine will go down to the Phoenix, that's something. But these Phoenix, their job is not to knock down medevacs as much. Their job is not to go as, ooh, Creator. Is he going to find, he's not going to get the SCV, I don't think. Yeah. Depth test to shade out. The Phoenix job is to lift. The Phoenix job is not, it may be tank some Viking shots. They're not going to be this incredible fighting unit, although Creator is now going back into them. So we're going to have to see what happens here. So there's a drop on the right side, Clem's main army on the left, and I think we're going to see Clem go in and try to make that happen, right? So get a drop into the natural as he puts pressure on the third base, and there we go. Drop into the natural. Pressure on the third. Creator, how good is your defense? And for now, probes are just going to have to get pulled away. He doesn't have the Phoenix count to properly deal with this easily. He's going to lift some of them now. Shield battery goes down. And that actually, yeah, he's going to be able to handle this well enough. Drop thinks about going into the main base and the third. But again, Creator holds the first version of this fairly easily. Zealots warp in and they deal with the rest. I think a couple Phoenix have died. But the main base, this is going to force a recall. Oh, he's going to get a Colossus here. Unfortunate positioning. Clem is so happy right now. That recall was everything and more that you're looking for as a Terran. You want to force the recall? That's really nice. But getting that Colossus down just because of really unfortunate recall RNG, well, that does not spark joy. A Phoenix is going to lift a Marauder here, and Clem is finding so much value. Not a lot of economic damage. Only 3 probes have died. But it's a dead Colossus. It's Phoenix falling. More drops into the naturals. Clem, he is just swarming here in this game. Number 1, pressure on the third, in the main, and the natural all at once. Widowmine's going to go off, get, some sentries as well. And Clem isn't losing all that much. He's really okay. His trades have not been expensive. Often, sometimes when a Terran gets too aggressive, they can trade out poorly. Clem is trading more efficiently, and he's getting damage done everywhere, and he's swarming. This medevac will fall down. That's something. That is a little bit more value on the Creator's side. And now, finally, it seems like for the moment, he's going to be able to deal with only things on one position. But now there's a drop in the natural again. Clem is just relentless here. At least, and Creator's lost a decent amount of economy as well. So Phoenix now the hallucinated Archon is going to try to do what it can. I'm just so impressed that Clem is able to go or that Creator's, able to weather this for the most part. And he's lost only 11 probes. He's lost other stuff. Absolutely. It has been expensive for him. I mean, we can see that he's down about 900 resources, but the fact that he has only lost like 11 probes with his just relentless Terran aggression is honestly insanely impressive. Now, he's going to have to withstand this push though. And Clem, we see just one long line of blue. This is a big army from Clem now as he brings his army together. And because this pressure has been happening so often from Clem into that natural, Creator has felt pretty pressured to make sure he keeps units in the natural at any given time, which means a full attack into the third. It might be a little bit more reasonable. But now Clem, he's found his opponent out once again here, but there's a Colossus. And actually, we're looking, oh, it is only 3. Okay, but Widowmine's into the third base right now. Probes are gonna, there we go. That's the damage. 6 more probes will go down, even as the Widowmines fall. And finally, we're gonna see some of the medevacs die. That's something. That's finally some bright spot in the life of Creator. I guess you know what? There is one thing we have to talk about though. And that is that there is a single Viking on the map right now. If Creator can find a way to move on the map, and it's not easy because again, Clem has been relentless in this aggression. If Creator can run across the map, he's got a Warp Prism. Charge is done in 10 seconds, +1 armor, so he's going to have upgrade parity, at least for a time. There are not a lot of good options to these Colossus. There really, really aren't. But oh, Clem, his army on the right side. He's got options. Big flanking action, base trade, whatever he wants to find. This army on the right side is just, oh, it's so situated. It's such a good position to sledgehammer through Creator. And he's going to try to take it right now. Creator tries to trigger it a little early. Sections off the army on the right side as he takes a fight on the left, but the Widow Mines get so much damage done. But more Zealots, they're going to warp in. And honestly, a really solid fight for Creator as well. He has Zealots in the main base as well. 6 SCVs will fall. It's such a scary position for Creator right now. He's got an army on the left side, right side as well. But Clem is not springing on it. Not just yet. He's taking this damage. And now Creator, he's going to start to get on top of all of these Marauders. There's not a lot. I mean, there are not enough medevacs to get all these Marauders out. So Creator's going to try to chase this down. Yeah, Clem's going to be a little happy because it means that his opponent is not going to find his way into his third base. But 9 SCVs have fallen, and so much of Clem's army is dying. The Zealots are still in the main. Creator has weathered so much damage from Clem. And because Clem committed so much to those medevacs, so much to that aggression, he didn't have the Viking count. It made it the fight from Clem really hard. And now, Creator is the one that's actually put himself in a really nice spot here. He doesn't have Blink. That's a big deal. He doesn't have a good way to chase these medevacs down. Well, he's actually warping a Stalker. Yeah, this medevac shouldn't get much done. Here we go. Single Stalker warping. Never mind. Phoenix is going to get it anyways. Yeah, this medevac's dead. And now we look at things. Clem is the one that's lost more resources. Clem is the one that's down in this game a little bit. He's the one a bit on the back foot. So Kane Creator, again, Creator's worker count, he's only on 3 bases still. He's only on 56 workers. He has had an incredible 2 minutes as he tanks the Widow Mine right there. But he still is under some level of pressure to get something done. Because again, his economy will start to scale out over time. So for now, disruptors are going to find their way in. Let's see what type of fight Clem can have. Oh, this is not good for Creator. He's Colossus on the back line, derping around a little bit. Clem just playing around with his line of sight blocker, not allowing Creator to find the shot that he wants. Disruptors are not really going to land. Colossus are falling as well. And that was just a really awkward fight for Creator. Clem did such a good job staying right on this line of sight. And with no detection, a scan going down anyways, it was really hard. Creator did not have the vision to be able to take the fight. He was not able to bust through. And Clem, well, if we look at resources lost now, 1,000 in Clem's favor. And he's got that fourth base. Creator only just now getting started. This is a massive Stalker count. This is far more Stalkers than you ever want. This is just, it's too many. Stalkers are great in small numbers. You want to have 10 to 15 maybe to go and deal with the Vikings. But this number right here against 2-2 Terran Bio does not feel good. Although disruptor shots will be pretty nice. We're seeing what happens. The Stalkers do not do DPS. They do burst damage. And that, well, that's a problem against all of this healing right now. And just the fact that you're going to have to take this fight that really does value being able to put down damage over a long period of time. I mean, well, better way to say that really is the periods of burst from Stalkers are not fast enough. Because technically burst is good against medevacs, because if you can burst units down, well, they're not healing. That being said, if you're doing that, you're targeting single units, and it's so much overkill. The Colossus is dead. Vikings will now land, and Creator did such a solid job of defending. That one fight in the middle of the map and the line of sight blocker just ruined everything for him. And at this point, he's going to try to hold on. He's doing what he can. By the way, Creator had all those Stalkers. He didn't have Blink. Clem, he takes down Creator in game 1 and plays a beautiful game. And at the bottom left, in the blue, he's up a game. Relentless aggression. Relentless aggression. It's Clem. And in the upper right, in the red, he almost held on. He almost made it happen. It's Creator. Taking a bit of an awkward, interesting probe path through the map, but I guess he just wants to make sure that yeah, okay, that's what it is. He just wants to make sure that there's not some crazy proxy barracks just outside of his main base. You can proxy barracks right here, and you can put a Reaper into your opponent's base very, very quickly. But anyways, as we get into game number 2, I'd like to remind you that if you are watching this as a VOD, if you're watching this as a best of 3 by itself, that means you're on my YouTube channel. And that means that you should sub to the YouTube channel because, first of all, you're going to get awesome series like this. Creator, Clem. I think the ByuN Solar series that's also happening right now is going to go up tomorrow on the YouTube because on this YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube as a discrete VOD, it's going to go up tomorrow because that series looks hype as hell. Cyril series, Maru series, ByuN series, all these awesome games. So you should sub to the channel and like that video because it really helps out a lot. And also let me know about, well, how do you feel about the PvT? I'm seeing people in chat talking about how PvT is unplayable. I don't think so. I think it's, first of all, Clem is just insane in this matchup. Second of all, Clem's insane in the matchup, right? The creator made some mistakes. Clem played with map features really nicely. And considering we never saw players max out, I find it hard. And the big nerf to Protoss late game is the fact that disruptors are 3 supply versus 2. I find it hard to say that, wow, that PvT is unplayable. I think it's just that Clem is very good, and he found momentum, and the creator couldn't quite stabilize for a while, and then even when he did, he didn't get a 4th base. Things happened. It was rough. But it's another game. It's another day. It's going to be a Stargate opener from creator once again. And Clem seems like we're going to see a similar idea. He's got a Hellion on the way. We should see Widow Mines after this, I think. And he's been messing around with these kind of paired Marine Widow Mine drops where you get a couple Widow Mines. You had 2 Marines on, it's like 3 Widow Mines, 2 Marines, 2 Widow Mines, 4 Marines, something like that. And you dive into a mineral line. And the cool thing about this build, as the Reaper gets into the main base, that's going to be pretty nice. The cool thing about this build is that you go and you force probes to pull, but that's not it. So generally, you pull probes, you sacrifice 3 or 4, however many Widow Mines there are. You sacrifice that. And then that's it. The Widow Mines die, they get some damage. Sometimes they end the game, but in general, you don't expect much. When you add these Widow Mines, the Marines on top of it, if that's truly what we're going to see Clem do here is, well, we don't have medevac out just yet. It's actually going to be Viking opening, so never mind. We're not going to go for that build, but to finish the thought, by adding those Marines on top of it, it means the probes can't just go and sacrifice 1 and do whatever, because you can target that probe down. You can deny mining for a lot longer. It's, oh, I like this from Clem. This is juicy. This is not a bait you expect either. Baiting with a single Marine like this. Creator, he thinks about it, commits, doesn't, sees the tag. Okay. He is playing so closely with that. But he saw the tag. He saw the line. It's going to be okay. Where's the Widow Mine now? At the natural. On the refinery. Okay, so that's, again, that's not a spot you would ever expect. Generally, they're in the main base somewhere. They're defending the main base. They're finding value like that. So, Creator, he may be caught off guard once again. He almost got caught off guard once, but an Adept gets into the main base. Sees a scout. What exactly has Creator seen, though? He's seen... Yeah. Okay, so he's seen the 3 barracks. He's seen the... Well, he's seen the 2 barracks, seen the tech lab. That should be enough. He should know that this is a 3-1-1, and a 3-1-1 of the marginally more aggressive variety. This isn't a 7:30. This isn't quite a 6-minute stim. It's going to be done 6:30, something like that. But this is kind of the new meta, or the more modern Terran push, where you again you get your stim faster, you get combat shields faster. You don't have tanks. That is kind of the downside of this, but you have a decent amount of Widow Mines. Maybe you have medevacs on top of it, and you get a faster 3rd base. Because you're not committing to tanks. You're not buying as many expensive units. And that means, of course, that you can get that 3rd base. In fact, Clem looks like he's thinking about putting it on location. This is cool, though. This is an interesting wrinkle. So generally, you move out with a couple Widow Mines, maybe. You add some tanks, you do whatever. It's a committed push. But adding this armory on top of it is really cool. Creator's not going to have any detection. He has a Colossus. He's got an Immortal. Second Colossus on the way. But all your robo build time is occupied by building. Oh, this is nice there. Good job, creator. You're going to deny that. He's going to deny the third base for quite a bit of time. But all your robo build time is allocated towards building Colossus. Being defensive like that. Adding in armory into this push is actually such a brilliant idea. Now Clem's going to find a Colossus at the perfect timing. On top of it, it's dead. No way. Look at that. It's a beautiful timing out of Clem. And now Widowmines are going to go off as well. Clem is running roughshod over this. Yeah, this army will eventually die. But these Widowmines, there's no way to detect them. Bio's going to find their way into the third base as well. Adept will fall. Look at this timing out of Clem is just disgusting. It was the perfect timing. Six probes go down. And the Widowmines, they're still there. There's nothing to deal with them. We have a Warp Prism on the way. Yeah, there are cannons and mineral ions, but Creator going immediately onto the other side of the map. He thinks he's killed enough out of Clem. Maybe he has. It's 51, if 50 supply to 54 out of Creator. Probes have gone down though, so now he's all, I mean, if he wasn't all in already, he's all in now. Stalker's Fall take damage. And Clem on the other side trying to take the fight before the Colossus joins the fray. Well, we're gonna have Marauders get lifted here, but now Phoenix is starting to go down. Force fields are really solid though, but the Widowmines do damage on the backside, and again, it's still no detection. Still no detection in this army, and the Widowmines scattered on this game, on this base. Well, they're gonna get a couple more probes right there. That's really solid. Clem, this is such a brilliant idea. Remains to be seen whether he's going to be able to hold on, but this is such a Widowmines from behind. This is such a brilliant idea out of Clem, getting this armory like this in this game where you know the build time, the armory build time, or the robo build time is allocated elsewhere to hold on to your standard push. It's so cool. Now, Creator's going to try to take the fight because he has to. And the Phoenix are going to try to chase him away as much as they can. Targeting down, but it's a medevac that doesn't have any units inside of it. So Clem now picks up once again. I mean, these are solid lifts. And Creator's army supply is very close to what Clem has. This is still a scary position for Clem, but kiting back into the Widowmines, and they're going to kill off all the Zealots. So now re-engaging, damage on the Colossus as much as he can. But Clem has to retreat now. This is still a scary position for the man. But between the bunkers and the Sim City and the Widowmines, I think he's going to be okay. By the way, that Observer died at some point. I don't know where Widowmines. God, these shots are massive. And at this point, I don't know how Creator breaks this. Now the Phoenix are down, so you can't drag on top of the army anymore easily. Armor's on the way, but it's not there just yet. Colossus will fall. Clem continues to kite away here, and the Widowmines are just doing so much. This build, this style out of Clem, this is a love letter to StarCraft Reddit. This is going to show up on the front page. Someone complained about the Widowmines. Someone complained about the Widowmines on Reddit. This is what you got to do. This, I know. Whether it's my cast or Atosis clips or something, this is going to show up on the front page of Reddit because we all know Widowmines are imba. Widowmines should not exist. You know, as a Zerg player, I understand, but seems like the Protoss players are the ones that are really complaining right now. So this one's bearing that out. And now Clem's got his third base down. Now, the one thing we do have to talk about, as these Widowmines will finally have an answer, is the fact that Clem's army supply is not insane. It's solid, it's 76, but he's not pulling ahead. Oh, yeah, what am I? Yeah, it's not going to happen. Nice try, Clem. He's not plus 60 army supply, not plus 70 army supply. I mean, that wouldn't... He's not like plus 30 army supply. As I say that, now he is, but there are these timings that a Terran wants to hit where they're massively ahead on the supply side of things. He wasn't there. Again, he traded pretty heavily, so he couldn't go and immediately run across the map and end his opponent's life. But in all honesty, as that medevac went down, the Warp Prism went down. These just Widowmines everywhere. I would not be surprised to see Clem pull the SCVs on this triple ghost timing. He doesn't have to. He is in a wonderful position to play a macro game, but he knows there's no storm. I think he can surmise that there's no disruptors, or if they are, they're in very few number. This could, I mean, there are no Archons either. This could be a really solid SCV timing. Looks like he's not going to go for it, though, which is totally fair, by the way. No need to go all in. You're up one game in a series. You've done so much in this game. I hate that. We've all been there. You're playing a game of Starcraft. You're trying to take an extra base. I guess not if you're Terran, because Widowmines don't one-shot SCVs, but you're a Zerg, you're a Protoss player. You're trying to take your 4th base. You're trying to take your probably 5th if you're a Zerg. And you go to take it, and you look over 10 seconds later, and there is no hatchery, and you do it again, and there's no hatchery, and then you realize that a Widowmine just keeps killing your workers, as now Clem tries to take this fight. EMPs on the... Oh, that's a great EMP there on the Phoenix. Clem still has to be careful, because this is a lot of Stalkers. It's a big army in general with 1-1. But EMP sent down a lot of that. One Stalker's playing forward, knocked down some more of these Vikings. And this army out of Creator, it does have legs. 2 Colossus, an Immortal, 26 Stalkers. I mean, that being said, though, our Marauder count, it's at 12. It's pretty solid. And Clem's setting up a big surround right now. That's one of the problems with Stalkers. Again, if they don't have that mobility, Widowmine somehow goes off anyways. If they don't have their mobility, if they're just forced to stand and fight, they really will struggle. But oh, hey, there we go. Creator finds the army on the right side, knocks Medivacs down, 2 of them. Should get the 3rd one as well here. And this surround that Clem was setting up, now it's actually just going to get incredibly punished. We talked last game about how Stalkers are, well, they're burst units in a fight like that where you just want to burst. You just want to go and take the army down, back up, do it again. That is where Stalkers can shine. They blink forward. They kill off so much of this army. They force the 4th base to lift. And they still have to be careful. Certainly they do. Clem's going to have +2 very soon. There are enough Stalkers that this Viking count doesn't matter all that much. The Colossus are really surviving strong, and Creator actually puts himself in a really solid position all of a sudden. Now, he still has got a way to get through these Widowmines. That still is very much a thing. That's still very hard. But he's got detection right now, and, well, the Observer's staying out of EMP range for the time being. Now we're going to see Widowmines go off on the Zealots, which... By the way, they don't even have charge. They're just there to tank, but now the Colossus are going down. Creator, do you have the army that you need to make this happen? Stalkers blinking desperately. Better concave as well. Creator, they said gateway units don't work well in this game. It seems like he's absolutely making them work. And a Marauder and an Immortal as well. We got to be fair here. But 8 more Zealots, or excuse me, 8 more Stalkers are going to warp in, trying to take this fight against this 2-1 stimmed bio army. Creator's trying to make it happen. Clem now out of the ramp here, out of this base, trying to take a fight where Creator doesn't have a massive concave. But Creator's doing it, guys. It feels like he really has the tempo right now. He's really got the opportunity. Even as the supplies are somewhat equal, it feels like he's doing a solid job here, but now scans are going to go down. We're going to see the detection fall. So Widowmines, again, they're going to be a problem. They're going to force the mass blink out. And again, Widowmines, no! Creator's going to blink on top of the army. He thinks that this is the opportunity. He thinks this is what he needs, but the Widowmines burr up once again. Stalkers, though, they blink out. They're going to be okay for now. Immortal is dead, but Creator, he's up 10 army supply into the natural, knocking down the production. He's got detection again. He has that Observer in siege mode. He's finding more damage. And now the SCVs are going to get pulled on out of here. More Stalkers, more of everything. More gateway units are going to warp in. Creator, he's only on 3 bases, but he is so all in, and it seems like very likely that he's going to go and he's going to win the game at this point. Clem back against the ropes, losing 2 barracks at this point. 28 SCVs are going down, and in a 14-minute game, it's not the Marauder, it's not the Immortals, it's not the Colossus, it's not the Disruptors. It's Creator's Blink Stalkers that are doing so much here. This is insane. I can't get over this game, that what Creator's done right now. This is not supposed to be possible. Winning with a gateway army against an equal supply of stimmed bio, once they've got +2, once you're in a game like this, it just should not be possible. But Creator finds it open, and he finds his avenue. He catches the army, and Creator, what a cool game. He wins game 2. And the bottom left in the red. What a game 2 that he had. What an incredible comeback. It's Creator. And his opponent in the upper right in the red, looking to make the finals for a TvT. His name is Clem. I love Creator right now. That was so... Gateway units are not supposed to be able to do that. Building that many Stalkers is not supposed to be good. It's just not supposed to be good. He built 28 Stalkers before Blink was even done. He did that game 1 as well. And it worked this time. Charge might have been nice. Okay, but 26 2-1 Blink Stalkers when you're creator, apparently it just works out. I don't know. I don't make the rules, but Baby Job, thank you so much for the resub right there. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Clem is doing something even more aggressive in this game number 3. We saw 1-1-1s out of him the first couple games. We saw expand builds. Well, he's gonna eventually get an expand, but this is double gas. All right, so this is Barracks double gas factory. We should see the command center go down behind that. But this leads into more aggressive options. This leads into cloaked Widowmine drops, maybe. This leads into Hellion drops. That's always an opportunity. Depends on how much gas he decides to spend. And he got a Reaper, so it's not going to be the fastest possible, whatever it is. But it is, again, you are accelerating your tech at the expense of your economy. And creator, the first time this series, it's going to be a Twilight opener. Game 3. Is he going to channel max packs? So I can see pros and cons. On the one hand, we know that max packs beats Clem fairly regularly, so that makes sense. Channel your max packs. On the other hand, Clem has a lot of experience defending 4 gates, so if you're not as good as max packs at it, maybe that's not the best play. That being said, we're gonna have to see what exactly creator decides to go for here. Of course, it's gonna be Blink. It was fairly unlikely that this was going to be some sort of Dark Shrine play, some sort of, I mean, I've seen some weird charge lot builds, I've seen some weird adept builds, but in general, it's going to be Blink. So for now, 2 more gateways on the way, and for now, we're looking at a 3-gate play coming out of creator, and with no robo, again, delaying the robo this heavily, this tells us that this is, again, likely going to be 3-gate Blink, which is aggressive, certainly, but not warping in 20 Stalkers onto the other side of the map. And actually, Clem, we talked about early aggression. Actually, this is the build I was kind of talking about in the previous game. It's not as many Widowmines as I was mentioning, but 1 Widowmine, a bunch of Marines here, and Clem's just, oh, this is actually pretty, this is a very early attempted snipe there on the pylon, and I think he's gonna get the Stalkers. Only 1 Stalker can hit, so he's gonna get the pylon. It's not gonna be the biggest of deals because, again, well, Warp Gate is done. He shouldn't get the Cyber Core, I wouldn't think. But this does shut down reinforcements a little bit. 3 gateways only, well, there are 3 gateways, but only 2 of them can produce. Now drop into the main base. As Clem putting pressure on the natural as well, we have to pay attention to that one. Probes are going to get pulled here because there's only 2 Stalkers in the main base. Stalkers are going to warp in. 2 probes have died as the Widowmine dead as well. Excuse me, the medevac dead as well, but in the natural, Marines, Cyclones diving, and this is so much crazy aggression coming out of Clem, but somehow it's working out. 8 dead probes. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 8 dead probes at the end. Stalkers fall here as well. There is a world, though, as now Stalkers are going to get this Widowmine down. Did Clem sacrifice too much? That is the question as we kind of take stock of things, because that was crazy out of Clem. This is literally, I'm going to take my first units. No one expects me to attack at this point. I'm going to run across the map. I'm going to try to kill you. He lost 6 Marines for it, a Cyclone, a Viking, a medevac, Widowmines. And this is still 3-gate Blink. Warp Prism is on the way. Creator can absolutely look to find some value here. This army from Clem does not inspire any sort of confidence. Only the first tank's out right now. The bunker will not complete. I mean, SCVs are going to try, but it is not all that easy. So this bunker's dead. Absolutely here. Marines on the low ground are going to try to run forward. Creator sensing a little bit of blood here. If he can get on top of the tank on the high ground, that's going to be really solid. But there's a Liberator on the other side as well, denying all the mining. The tank unsieges for a little bit more damage, but will go down at the end. And the Stalkers, they have to get microed. They have to get warped away here. So many of them are going down. 2 probes have died on the other side. But again, the problem is the lack of mining. And the Stalker in the main base, it's going to get forced back out here as well. Clem gets on top of the Warp Prism, not going to find it. And now finally, it seems like this Liberator is going to get dealt with. Finally, that is something. And still there's no stem. That's the big deal. I thought the Marines for a second, they looked like they had been stemmed. But a Warp Prism in the main base right now. 4 Stalkers. They one-shot Marines. They one-shot SCVs. Clem, he's up in workers right now. Creator really needs to get this damage done. And the Banshee, well, it's here, but it doesn't have Cloak. Even still, Mass Repair is probably going to be good enough. And I think we have to stop there. I think that's where Creator has to end this. He doesn't have the big stalker counts anymore. The stalkers in the Warp Prism are pretty low. And at the end of the day, he's lost 7 stalkers, 11 probes, 2 adepts. He's killed 7 SCVs. He's killed 11 Marines, a tank, a Liberator, a couple Cyclones. And the resources lost, if anything, they're in Creator's favor by a couple hundred. But the economy of Creator is equal to the Terran. That's not really where you want to be. We look at the income. I mean, it's been spiking in Clem's favor pretty significantly for the last 5 minutes or so. That's how mules work. When you're equal on workers as the Protoss, you do not feel happy. It's not a good feeling, especially considering, well, Creator wasn't able to mine out of his natural for a good bit of time because that Liberator was getting that damage done. Now Banshee's going to show up, and there's no cloak, so that's not going to get too much done. And this is fascinating. Creator's getting stormed very quickly. But there's no charge. And charge is not the... Charge is a decently fast upgrade, certainly. But Blinkstalker Storm is not a solid setup. You want Blinkstalker Charge. You want those Zealots that get on top that force the army to fight. Ideally a Zealot flank, and then you drop the Storms on the head. Then you really get that damage. But I guess it's just going to be Storm drops. This is pretty cool. So, War Prison. Finding its way onto the other side of the map once again, but it's going to take a moment. Storm is still about 20 seconds out. 15 seconds out. And the interesting thing for me, I think, is that Creator is pairing this with Stalker, so he's going to try to... Is this going to try to kill the move out, or is this economic? I think he's going to try to storm the move out. That's pretty cool. Storm number 1 and 2. For the High Templar, they take a lot of damage, and Clem, he splits immediately. That was slow from Creator. He went and he just... Those storms were not immediate. High Templar took damage before he dropped him down. And we can see just how healthy this army is. He did not get what he wanted. I think he was distracted by the Banshee, which is fair. You don't want to lose to the Banshee. But look at this move for the Banshee right now. Just on top of the shield battery, making it that much harder for any pressure to happen. There are more High Templar, though, and this is a scary position to try to fight into with Storm. And there we go. Number 1's going to go down. Marines are starting to fall here. But again, there's no charge. This army is going to struggle now. Clem through the ramp, through the natural, trying to find the damage that he wants, trying to end the game right now before Storm is done. Well, before charge is done, before this army of Creator hits critical mass. And look at this pre-split coming out at Clem. His army is not clumped up all that together. Now gateways will fall. It's a little bit more wide open. If there's a timing for Creator really to run through, this is it. Charge is done. He's got an army on the left side. He's got an army on the right side. Storm's in the Warp Prism. But they need to be beautiful. They need to be so good. And the Widowmine gets the Warp Prism. Zealots now on top of this army. Clem, he's surrounded, but it doesn't matter. The Widowmines again doing it in game 2. They're doing it in game 3. They knock everything down, and Creator finally loses to a Terran. Clem in 3 games. He moves on to the finals. It's a TVT versus ByuN. It does not happen. Creator can't take his nth scalp. But man, it was close. Well played there, Clem.